Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the thick of it. Washington, D.C., right before and during a huge moment of change.
Yeah, we're looking at the city through this incredible narrative source, focusing on 1959 and then jumping to 1968. It really paints a picture of D.C. as, well, almost two different cities defined by race and class.
And we're following two brothers, Derek and Dennis Strange. Their paths kind of diverge completely based on how they react to the system, especially as 1968 hits.
Exactly. It's about understanding how that specific time and place shaped their choices that felt almost inevitable given the circumstances.
Okay, so let's start back in 1959. It feels like a quieter time maybe, but underneath, segregation is just baked into the city's geography.
Absolutely. You see it clearly with these two kids, 12 years old, Derek Strange, who's black, and his best friend, Billy Georgialakos, who's Greek-American.
Friends, but living in different worlds, basically.
Pretty much. Derek's in Parkview. It's described as mostly working-class black folks and some lower-income whites. He's zoned for Roosevelt High.
Which the source mentions had a reputation for gangs.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you've got Billy, just a bit north in Brightwood. That's more middle class, lots of, white ethnic families, Greeks, Italians, Irish Catholics. And he's headed for Coolidge High.
More college-bound fraternities, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And the source is really clear why Brightwood is like that. These families moved up there after World War II. Better housing, yes, but it explicitly says they were moving away from the colored.
Wow. So it wasn't accidental. It was a conscious shift driven by, well, reurbanization and desegregation starting up.
Precisely. It was social engineering happening neighborhood by neighborhood.
And this separation shows up everywhere, even in, downtime.
Oh, yeah. Derek loves Westerns. He goes to the movies on U Street, the Republic, the Lincoln, the Booker T. These were the colored theaters. He's excited about seeing Rio Bravo.
Meanwhile, their dads work together, which is interesting, at the Three-Star Diner.
That's right. Darius Strange, Derek's dad, is the cook, the grill man. He's black. And Mike Georgialakos, Billy's dad, the Greek owner. They coexist there.
And Darius, he's proud of his work, right?
Oh.
He learned it himself after the war.
Immensely proud. It's a steady job. He even managed to buy their row house in Parkview using a GI Bill loan. $86 a month mortgage. That was huge for him.
But there's still that ceiling, that Jim Crow reality limiting things.
Always. And that brings us to his wife, Alethea Strange. She's a domestic worker, makes $17 a day.
Okay.
But here's the thing. She deliberately works only 5 days a week. Why? Because Darius makes $110 a week, and she doesn't want her salary, about $85 a week, to get too close to his.
Wait, she holds back her own earnings? Why?
The source says she worried that making more than him could kill the lion in your man. It's this incredibly poignant detail about the pressures on black families, especially black men, to be the provider, even when the system actively works against that.
That's heavy. And on top of that, she's dealing with daily indignities at work, microaggressions.
Constantly. There's this one really stark example. She works for a white family, the Vaughns. The wife, Olga, makes a big show of having Alethea eat lunch with the family. Trying to seem progressive.
Okay, trying to be nice, maybe.
Maybe. But as soon as lunch is done, Alethea sees Olga take her plate and her glass and put them separately in the sink to wash them more thoroughly.
Oh, wow. So the performance of equality ends the second the meal is over. That separation of dishes, it says everything.
It really does. It's that deep-seated prejudice masked by kind of a awkward, self-conscious decency.
And this kind of stuff, this constant navigating and accommodating prejudice, this is what drives a wedge between Darius and his older son, Dennis, isn't it?
Exactly. Dennis just can't stand it. He sees his father's pride and hard work as basically giving in to Jim Crow. He goes after his dad about it.
How so?
He even points to things like the Afro newspaper he's furious they run ads for, like black and white blanching cream or Dr. Fred Palmer's skin whitener, promoting white beauty standards within their own community.
He sees that as part of the problem, part of the settling his father's generation did.
Yeah. For Dennis, it's compromise, it's accommodation, and he wants no part of it. And that difference, that gap, becomes massive by 1968.
Okay, let's jump forward then. 1968, the pressure cooker year. How are the Strange brothers doing? What paths have they taken?
Well, Dennis, the older one, he's pretty broken by this point. He's a Navy vet, got discharged with a disability after a tailbone injury, gets a monthly check.
So he's got some income, but...
But he's bitter, really bitter. The source mentions him being high a lot, barbiturates, weed, and he's reading radical stuff, like The Colonizer and The Colonized.
So he's looking for answers outside the mainstream.
Definitely. He likes Elijah Muhammad's ideas, the Nation of Islam's critique, but he's cynical about organized groups.
Yeah.
He looks at the Black Panthers and thinks they're just playing soldier. He's isolated, angry, completely outside the system.
And Derek, the younger brother, he goes the opposite way.
Completely opposite. He joins the MPD, the Metropolitan Police Department. This is during a big push to recruit black officers under D.C.'s first black mayor, Walter Washington, and Patrick Murphy, the public safety director.
So trying to change the system from the inside.
That seems to be the idea. He gets partnered with a white officer, Troy Peters, who's described as an Ivy League guy, a Peace Corps vet, also trying to make a difference.
But how does Dennis react to his brother becoming a cop?
Oh, it's brutal. After Derek graduates from the academy, Dennis sees him in uniform and just lays it out. You're a full-fledged member of the occupying army now.
Oof. That captures the tension perfectly. Black officers caught between the uniform and the community.
Exactly. Seen as the enemy by young people in the neighborhoods they grew up in. It's an impossible position, really.
And this tension, this powder keg, it explodes in the spring of '68, right?
Yep.
The source details these two parallel crime plots.
Yeah, it's chilling how they mirror each other, but with different motivations rooted in the city's fractures. You've got a white group and a black group.
Tell me about the white group first.
Led by a guy named Buzz Stewart. There's also Walter Shorty Hess, who's hooked on speed, and Dominic Martini, a Marine vet working as a pump jockey. He's the reluctant driver.
What drives them?
Pure racial hatred and kicks, adrenaline. They commit this horrific hit and run, killing a young black kid named Vernon Wilson, who was college-bound. Why? They were just sporting, looking for trouble.
Just senseless violence, and then they plan something bigger.
Yeah, they decide to rob a bank capital savings and loan out in Silver Spring, Maryland. It's Stewart's idea, mostly. Martini gets dragged into it. It's interesting about Martini. The source says Vietnam had somehow cleaned the poison from his blood, but he gets pulled back in.
Yeah, it's like the old neighborhood dynamics, the peer pressure, or maybe just Stewart's influence.
Yeah.
It overrides whatever change happened overseas. He's easily coerced. It's like destiny pulling him back.
Okay, so that's one side, rooted in hate and thrills. What about the other group, the black group?
This involves Dennis Strange, remember him, along with Alvin Jones, who's described as a hustler, and Kenneth Willis, a janitor with a criminal record. And their motivation? Is it different?
It's framed differently, yeah. More around economic desperation and a kind of warped ideology. They plan to rob Lidvig's, a local corner market.
Why Lidvig?
Jones argues the white owners suck all the money out of our people. They plan it for credit day, when there'd be cash. Jones himself is shown gaming the system, buying expensive stuff like a color TV on his girlfriend Lula Bacon's credit, planning to default. It's about getting theirs, almost like reparations through crime.
So less about random violence, more about perceived economic justice, however twisted.
Kind of, but it's still about hurting the community in a way. And interestingly, their plot gets foiled.
By the police.
Nope. By someone from the neighborhood. John Thomas. He's this older, dark-skinned stockman at the market, knows Dennis's father, Darius. He just has a feeling something's off.
How does he know?
He notices their car. They parked right under a street lamp. Too obvious, too careless. He trusts his gut and calls the police.
Wow. So community policing itself, in a way. Protecting the store, but maybe also protecting Dennis.
You could definitely read it that way. Thomas subtly prevents Dennis from getting caught up in the actual robbery attempt. It's a really powerful, quiet moment of intervention.
Okay, so what happens to both groups in the end? The climaxes of these plots.
Both end badly, tragically. The white gang's bank robbery goes wrong. They get into a shootout with the police.
People get hurt.
Yeah. Hess, the speed addict, shoots Derek's partner, Troy Peters. Not fatally, but still. Stewart gets hit bad when their getaway car crashes, loses his right leg.
And Martini, the driver.
He just gives up, surrenders, and says this line, "I finally made it, just like my old man. Like he was always destined for prison or failure." It's bleak.
God, okay, what about Dennis and his crew? The market robbery was stopped, but
The consequences come later, and they're devastating. Alvin Jones, the hustler, gets paranoid. The police picked up Kenneth Willis, the other guy involved. Jones worries Dennis might talk, might connect him to the plan.
oh no.
Yeah. Jones corners Dennis in an alley near his home and murders him, cuts him with a razor.
Just like that, his own partner in the planned crime, Dennis pays the ultimate price for stepping outside.
He does. The anger, the radicalism, the disillusionment. It leads him to this violent, lonely end.
And all this personal tragedy is unfolding right as the nation is hit with massive news.
Exactly. It's Thursday, April 4th, 1968. News breaks that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been assassinated in Memphis.
How does DC react?
It ignites. The grief and anger just explode.
Yeah.
Major riots break out. 14th Street, 7th Street, H Street Northeast. Massive looting. Stores being emptied.
A reflection of that pent-up frustration and despair.
Absolutely. You see black business owners desperately spray painting Soul Brother on their windows, hoping to be spared. It's chaos.
So Derek Strange, the new police officer, he's right in the middle of this.
Right in the thick of it, working a double shift. He sees the city burning, the police completely overwhelmed, CDU, Civil Disturbance Unit, using tear gas, most without masks, just exhaustion and fury everywhere.
But amid all that citywide chaos, Derek has this intensely personal mission now, right? Finding his brother's killer.
Yes, his focus narrows down to Alvin Jones. He confronts him.
How does he know for sure it was Jones?
Jones slips up. In denying it, he says something like, "If you think I cut him." And that detail, the razor, the cutting that hadn't been released publicly.
He gave himself away.
Instantly, Derek knows. And in that moment, fueled by grief, the riots, everything, Derek kills Jones.
He executes him, takes justice into his own hands.
Pretty much. Right there in the chaos. A street execution.
Mm.
Derek crosses a line he probably never thought he would.
But it doesn't stop there, does it? There's something else.
No, it gets even more complex.
Yeah.
Derek searches Jones's body and finds about $800 in cash. Looted money, presumably from the riots.
Okay, what does he do with it? Turn it in.
He thinks about it, but the source says he couldn't see turning it in. It feels wrong, maybe, pointless. Instead, he takes that money, blood money, really, and does something unexpected.
What?
He finds Mary Oliver. She was Alvin Jones' girlfriend, the one Jones used for credit, and then abandoned. She has a baby son, Granville. Derek gives her the $800, all of it, for the baby.
Wow. So he takes money from the killer, likely stolen during the riots, and gives it to the killer's abandoned family.
Yeah, it's this incredible act, extra-legal justice, followed by extra-legal charity. He holds the baby, Granville, notices he has Jones's odd golden eyes, and tells Mary he's going to be handsome. It's like he's trying to use the tainted money to maybe give this next generation a slightly better start, break the cycle.
So we've seen Derek go from this kid in segregated 59 to joining the force to change things, to witnessing the 68 riots, killing his brother's murder, and then this act of profound moral compromise, maybe?
It's definitely a compromise. He's completely abandoned the rulebook. He reflects on what his father, Darius, told him. You've been given a responsibility, son. You do something to betray that, you don't deserve to be wearing that uniform.
Does he feel he betrayed it?
The source ends with Derek walking away, thinking this is probably his last night as a cop. He seems to know he can't wear that uniform anymore after what he's done.
Which leaves us with a really tough question, doesn't it? He betrayed the uniform, the system, but by killing Jones and giving that money to Mary and her baby, did he fulfill some other, maybe deeper responsibility?
That's the core of it, I think. When the official system is failing so spectacularly, when the city is literally on fire and justice seems impossible through normal channels, what does responsibility even mean? Does an act like Derek's, taking from the bad to give to the innocent, become its own form of justice?
And what does that choice, that extra-legal act of trying to restore some balance, tell us about finding a way forward when everything seems broken? What's the personal cost of becoming that kind of agent of change?
Yeah, what does it cost your soul to operate outside the lines, even for what feels like the right reasons? That's something to really chew on.